Might as well go ahead and state this since you're streaming. I do not own or sell any images, music, pictures, whatever. Don't sue me. I has no money. This is for funsies.
It's too big of a file.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll have to hit that up. I'll give you a follow. All right, let me go ahead and put this in here then. See if this works. How's the volume on that?
You're fine. We can edit it ourselves, so.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Previously on Midgard, the party had been sent out for the fall festival to go ahead and retrieve the annual board for the harvest. All the harvest had been in for the season, so now's the time for the funsies. They're going to be having a big freaking barbecue. The party has been living here for at least a year now, just to kind of give you a little bit of background on the where we're at the moment. They did manage to get to the hunting location, set the lure. Did take a little bit of time, but they did manage to not only get one board, but they got three. Not only did they get three, they didn't spoil the meat. They were cleaned correctly, and they got three pelts that they could sell to Old Man Vac, who has been affectionately named by the party as Not Gandalf. It's fantastic. So we at the camp where they were settling in for the night, they did happen to come across something when they were trying to rest. Our barbarian Goliath had an amazing perception roll and was able to determine that there was something that went bump the night that shouldn't be there. The party came across with the rolls that they made with the perceptions and also with their history checks, as it was like an indigenous people, like tribesmen, that were basically had like a commander, leading over them. So while they did that, they were, they engaged, they won impressively. The roles that they made were great when they mattered. The cast has been extremely entertaining, and we'd be learning together. When Titus looked through the packs and discovered, he found a sending stone. With his natural 20, he understood that this sending stone in particular, though, was one that was kind of like a one-way ticket. The people who initiate the contact would be able to contact you, but you couldn't initiate the contact. So they made it through the night. No other encounters that came into play. And in the morning, like around the dawn, when everybody's starting to rouse, they hear this guttural language. And that's where we had left the game off at. So just from the backgrounds of you all knowing Dwarvish, I'd said that Blast would know what this language was, but if any of you guys speak Dwarvish, you would be able to recognize the connotation that this was Orcish that was speaking. So now that you've heard and you guys are awake, what are you doing with this? They're initiating contact.
Does anyone know language?
You could try to speak common if you want.
I don't know if we want to respond back in common. I know I recognize the language, but I can't speak it.
I can speak. Where the fuck is it? Common, Dwarven. I can also speak a giant.
So when you hear the guttural sound, all of a sudden you hear this. Why, you stupid fool! You know we've not trained these men how to speak our fucking language. Give me the stone.
Oh,
Lieutenant,
yeah.
Report in.
I vote the Goliath responds.
Hello.
Yes. What have you found?
There were some campers. We killed them.
That's fine. That's what we pay you to do. We pay you to scout the area. What have you found to return to us?
Exactly what we came out to find. We're headed on our way back shortly.
if you're heading back now, you know that'll take at least 3-4 days where you're from. Have you mapped out the area that I told you? We knew that there was human encampments around the area that we're looking to go into.
Yes.
We want their resources.
Yes, it's mapped.
I will expect you, and I will call you
so
in
good.
12 hours.
Yes, you'll see us in 11.
I need you to roll a deception check.
Guidance. Please take guidance. Please take guidance.
That's plus.
It's a D4, yeah.
So 13.
She's kind of hesitant when she responds. She goes, 11 hours? Did I just not tell you, you fucking fool? We sent you out. You've been gone for 3 days.
We're really excited to get back and show you what we've found. So
I'll give you something to be excited about if you don't give me that map proper.
I'm gonna put it down, like, so she can't. Person on the other can't hear me. I love when she talks to me like this.
Do we have any idea what direction we're going, though? Like, can we try and get them to tell us where to go without making it sound obvious that we're not the people they want to speak to?
You can try.
Should I be like? Do you guys want me to be like? We forgot where we're going.
Yeah, I mean, just tell them we got a little bit turned around. If they can just remind us what direction we need to go or something. I don't know.
So we may have gotten a little turned around. Do you know what direction we should be going?
I need you to make another deception check on that.
And the D4.
What do you mean you fucking don't know where you are? You're indigenous to this area. You should know exactly where you are. That's why we brought you into this.
Well,
we need guides. We need soldiers. What do you need?
We smoked a little bit of that weed stuff. So we're kind of high.
Again, I'm gonna need you to make
Oh yeah. And your D4.
Oh, you fucking twat.
It was not my idea.
Give me 5 minutes. I will locate your stone.
Okay, thank you.
5 minutes.
I did it.
5 minutes pass, and the stone starts to glow a brilliant blue hue. And
shut up, guys! It's calling back.
And then she goes, I see that you're far to the south. You're farther than I thought you would be. We are at the crags. Remember where the crags are. You're south. It'll be 4 days north of where you're at. Unless you go by another path. But we stay away from that path for a reason. So, 4 days you have. And report in. I will be calling again in 12 hours to know your location.
Mamster, can we take the other path? If we're real careful.
Path will more than likely kill you. You told us yourselves.
Guys, she said there's a path. It's safe.
They can all hear what she's saying, by the way.
She means it's...
I mean...
And then
No, sorry, go ahead.
She's like, I will report. I will contact you in 12 hours again. And be ready this time.
Okay.
And she goes, bloody fool! Next time you initiate contact, you speak in common. They don't know our language. And all of a sudden the stone just completely goes from brilliant hue to just being a rock again.
So someone else hold this.
I'll take it.
I don't like her. So we're gonna go kill things, or do we want to get this food back? There's a
Well,
party,
what I
and
would do in this case is, this is where, this is completely up to the party then. You have meat in the ground that homie dug a hole with his axe for. I
Right.
do remember that. You were sent for that task, and you can do one of two things. I'm going to turn to Titus because Titus's background was a soldier. He was an officer in the military.
Mm-hmm.
So I will give that decision to Titus.
well, how many days do we have until this festival?
Well, technically, they're only expecting you to be gone for like a day and a half, too, because with the lure that you were given, it was a surefire, bet you were going to get something.
So is the festival like in like 2 days?
More than likely, yeah. And the lady said you're about 4 days away from their encampment.
So where was the town? Was that north as well, or?
No, you're in the southern region, so you're about like from where you're at the camp. Remember, it took you about a day to get to the camp.
Right.
So from where you're at, if you go back to camp, that'll put you 5 days out. But at the same time, things happen. I mean, clearly she wasn't
Right.
counting on
I'm
you
not
getting lost in an area that
super.
you know.
Yeah, I'm not super concerned about that. We can make up. Oh, we found more things we had to kill. Whatever. I don't care. I think we really need to get this meat back at least. I probably won't be able to stay for the festival because I want to. I mean, if they're, it sounds like they're wanting to invade. So we got to get out and take care of that. But I want to get this back, report to the town, so that if we fail, they can be on alert at least, and then go take care of these baddies.
All right, so we'll just take a bit of a time jump then if everybody's in agreement that you guys are going back to town. So I'm going to change maps here for you. No encounters because it was only a day away. So I'm not going to put any random encounters in this because I'm going to get you back to town here.
And we've already had like our long rest or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's early. It's dawn. You'll probably get back sometime late in the evening to town here. So I'm going to put you back in town. Okay.
I know where I want to go.
So right now, your guys are probably. Let me go ahead and I'll move your tokens here for you. Okay. I should have done that already, but I wasn't. I wasn't that prepared, I suppose.
I brought myself over.
I like it. Thanks.
Yep.
I like that delegation. So you guys are coming back into town, and and just for the purpose of just not having to add any more tokens on the map, the townspeople they're kind of walking around with their heads down and everything else like that. Grady, if you could play me some sweet somber music.
I don't think he's here yet.
I am.
Oh, hey, never mind. I didn't see you come in. Hi, Grady.
I was on top of it.
How's it going, brother?
Good. How are you?
He was this bit sneaky in the chat. I saw him though. I was
Steve was doing his thing, and I didn't want to.
Fair enough.
I didn't want
that's
to
cool.
ruin it.
Appreciate it. So give me some sweet somber music, and we'll go ahead.
DJ Grady Gray.
DJ Grady. So you guys come back to town, and where the town would normally be really festive, some of the people kind of have their head down, and at the gate, Bryn literally comes running up to you guys, and she goes, Titus, thou!
Yes?
Something terrible's happened. I need you to come back to the general store. My father, he's waiting for you.
What happened?
There's no time to explain. The people are distraught. They're in an uproar.
But
So I'm going to move maps here again here real quick. And you guys can clearly move your own tokens when I get to the store. So I'll pull you guys up there. Quit doing it. God damn it, you fucking boss.
Bang, bang.
I need to learn how to lock that shit. And she's like, what are you doing?
I missed you. I brought you something.
All right, we won't go to the store yet. This has been waiting to happen.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
Really? What? Whoa. Did you get the balls that we were looking for?
3 of them, and I brought you a head.
3 of them? What? What?
It's a token of appreciation in the mountains.
So you giving her the boar head? Okay.
And the head, the half head from the other guy.
She takes them gingerly from you and she goes, "Oh wow, wow, that's you shouldn't have."
Ripped him off myself. Actually, let me tell you while we walk.
And she just kind of looks. She looks at Thal and she looks at Titus and she's like, she's almost giving Titus the "help me" look.
I take the opportunity to talk up my friend Thalai here.
What would you like to tell her?
It was mighty impressive. Man was able to pull a boar heads off with his bare hands. I've never seen anything like it. He's quite the specimen.
You want to roll a persuasion check there? Just for fun.
I cast
Alright.
guidance on Titus.
You don't have that. Stop it. But I'll cast it on myself.
I like the fact.
I rolled a 6,
She's
guys.
She looks at you. She goes, "Yes, I know Thal he's extremely strong, and she just kind of looks at Thal. She goes, Thal, I know the intent was good, but just for future references, my friend, you don't give a lady 7 heads. It's really not attractive."
What if it was a unicorn head?
And she just
Or
silently
just the
walks
horn.
away.
Just
she
the
just
horn?
silently walks away.
Trying to help out, I kind of yell after her. It's a sign of affection in their culture.
You should probably go with her. I'll see you soon.
I guess
we
we
I hate to
follow.
go. I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave.
Oh my goodness.
That couldn't have went any better if I had planned that.
That's
actually.
amazing.
Thank you. And that's Dungeons and Dragons, folks. Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
So if you guys want to go ahead and move your tokens onto the map, it can be just about anywhere.
How?
You see that.
So if you go to your
because-
journal, your character sheet, and just basically just drag from your character over. Yeah, just like that.
So when you get into the general store, you see Bryn just kind of steadying her head, just kind of still shaking and just kind of like, you don't see the boar's head or anything. You don't have any idea what she did with it, but
She
she's
keisted it.
just she what?
He stirred it.
I don't know what that means.
Stop. No.
But anyway, like, so you hear some of the townspeople, and these are some of the folks that have been here for a while, and they're just in I would say like an uproar, and then you got a few of them saying, "We should fight them," and then you have a couple of them go, "No, we should flee," and they're just all trying to talk at once, which is just really unruly. And Jorn finally comes to you and goes, "Everybody shut the fuck up!" And everybody just gets real silent real quick. And he turns to the people and he goes, "I know what happened. We've had this happen in the past. We will deal with it. But right now, what I need everybody to do is to be patient and be calm. Whenever we panic, that is when more people die. I need you all to go to your homes and just watch over. We will have to divvy up duties at the walls to make sure that we're guarding at night. Make sure that you bring your families into the walls. There's rooms here. If anything, you can sleep on the bloody floor. I don't care. But we need to make sure we're bringing the people in and making sure that they're safe. And that's when the crowd starts to just kind of, they're bristling by you guys, and they're starting to do what Jordan said, because Jordan's not a man to be messed with. He's a pretty imposing figure. Like I said in the last game, the village doesn't necessarily have a leader, but if there was one, it would be Jordan. So for the sake of, I'm just going to take the townspeople off the map, and if you guys want to start, you can talk with Jordan. Back is there. You can do whatever you need to do.
Jordan, what's the dealio?
He looks at you and he goes, have a seat. Sit down at the table. We'll discuss. And he calls to Bryn and goes, Bryn! Yes, dawg. I need you to get me some of that strong shite you gave your buddy here, and get him some too, and anything that these fellas need.
Do you want me to go grab the keg?
Yeah, if you want to go with Bryn to get the keg, that's fine.
No, Bryn, you can stay here. I'll go. I know where it is.
she kind of smiles at you a little bit. That smile, going, okay. So just as a side note, I'm trying to come up with a system here for you. I want you to add. We're gonna call this the brownie points system, okay?
BPS.
So the system is a 10, okay? Well, in the last game, you're probably out of 6. When you gave her the heads, you probably dropped yourself to a 1.
Oh, man.
So with the brownie point system, though, with you going to get the keg for her, that puts you back to a 4.
Yay.
Yay.
So I can't remember how to delete this shit. And if you guys want to go ahead and sit at the table there, I'll delete these guys and we'll start talking about what you guys are seeing.
If I were to just start shoulder pressing this keg, would I get more brownie points?
I don't know. You decide that. Figure out what'll happen.
I'm just gonna gingerly set it down, and I'll even pour everyone's beers.
Okay. Wow. This is impressive. She's not used to seeing that. That'll give you another 2.
She's gonna be so wet.
Oh my goodness.
Might have to make the point system a little hard here.
Will I get 2 more points
harder.
if I hand out the drinks to everyone?
Just be like the group.
No. Because she'll eventually wise up. Like any good woman, she'll eventually wise up to why you're doing it, other than just you doing a random kindness.
Mm.
So you're gonna have to woo her like you would woo a lady in real life.
Are you trying to tell me that I need to show her my dick?
Yeah, that's the
you
father.
Just whip it out. That's all you gotta do.
Her father is
This
there.
is
This seems serious.
This is the D&D equivalent of sending a dick pic.
Welcome to Tinder.
Good lord.
Welcome to Tinder, D&D style.
Tinder.
So you guys sit at the table, and actually, because Thal is such a good boy, Bryn will sit next to him.
Aw, that's pretty cute.
Happy days are here again. Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, he's upside down.
Yay.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I'm facing the table.
Oh, okay. That's fine. So Jordan looks at you guys and goes,
Crush
What
is just looking away.
I figured Blast is in his own little world right now anyway. So Jordan looks at you at your party and goes, "What a right time to send you fellas out on a hunt, right?"
So
We
what
killed
happened?
Some tribesmen.
Over at the farms, one of the families, they were they were assaulted by a group of men with spears. There's some of the indigenous folk that sometimes occasionally come through here. The funny thing is we've had good relations with them before. We've even established some kinds of trade, but they came in the middle of the night and they came upon their farm and it didn't end well.
Sounds like they didn't have a good perception check.
By the
Probably
description,
not,
I'm
unfortunately.
assuming they would be the same types of people who attacked us, right?
Yes, that sounds like it's correct. So you come to learn that the name of the family that was attacked was the Greenhorns. They have a farm. You guys would know them in passing.
I love the greenhorns.
Yeah, they're good people. They have a farm. They have a son who's 19, and they had a 10-year-old daughter. They'd been trying for a long time. There's a huge age difference, but they had a wonderful little girl. And fortunately, as Jordan is explaining this, he goes, luckily, Finn's dad, he put up a valiant effort. He got, his son and his daughter to run, even though his son wouldn't want anything to do with it. He wanted to stay and fight. I mean, he was a brave lad. And like any father, and he looks at his daughter lovingly. He goes, he laid down his life for his children, and unfortunately, their mother was caught up with the spears as well.
Well, if those children need a place to stay, they can sleep at my house.
That'll be very, very kind of you. I was just going to let them shack up here, but, they'll probably need a little help here and there. Bryn will help us as she can. And during the daytime, we can put little Fanny to work here, and she can keep out of trouble. It's fine.
I can teach the boy to fight.
You may know how to fight a little bit. I don't know, but that might not be a bad idea.
We need all the arms we can get.
Quite possibly. And with that, Vac goes, "Whoa, well, I might be able to help with that, Jordan. You've been
not Gandalf.
Not Gandalf. Huh. What is this name, not Gandalf?
He was in a story that we used to hear about back in the mountains. He was a wizard. He was white, and then he was gray, or maybe the other way around.
It was the other way around.
He was gray, and then he was white.
Forgive Thal, he doesn't have the greatest of memories.
And I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna look at the party and be like, "Run, you fools!" It was a line from the story.
Vac just kind of scratches his head and goes, "Not Gandalf. I've been called many things, but not Gandalf's not bad. I like it. I like it. You can call me not Gandalf. I like this. This is a good name for me, John. Vac, I'm not calling you not Gandalf. But it's a good name.
He was a very powerful sorcerer.
Yes. I know magic." And he starts using his fingers, and they kind of sparks and kind of fly up in the air.
Can you do me a favor, not Gandalf? Can you magic me a piece of chicken?
Oh, I don't know how to do that. What are the words? Yes, I know how to do that. And he goes, "Run, Chandra! Chicken, please!"
Never mind.
And she runs to the kitchen, and she finds a roasted chicken. She goes, "Well, I was saving this for earlier," and she sits it right in front of you.
No, you saved that. I was just kidding.
Oh, it's okay. See, magic. I know magic.
You are a goof.
Okay,
Are you drunk?
What? No. This is a serious...
Are you high?
No, this is serious conversation, you big gluten. He tries to reach over and bop you with his staff there, but he's a little too far away, so he kind of hits the table with it.
Nice try.
He goes, "Oh, don't worry, mate. I know how to fix your little red wagon. But we'll save that for, in a few minutes. Let's get down to this business. Sounds like it's very foul."
Yeah, before we do any of that, what does he have to trade?
Oh, I need to bargain with him.
Well, he basically, like, as far as trade goods go, I mean, he would basically have anything out of the player's handbook, per se, as far as, like, goods go. So, but you can get those items from Jorn's place as well. So, as far as, like, exotic items go, he probably doesn't have a ton on him. But, you know, it might be appropriate, like, once you guys tell them what's going on. Because clearly shit happened to you. Shit happened while you were gone. So you guys might want to collaborate your stories.
So I mean, I mean, after they would have said what was going on, I definitely want to reply stating we were attacked as well by seemingly the same group of people. Dispatched with them rather handily. They had on them this stone, and I'll pull the sending stone out. It's a sending stone. They were communicating with clearly a larger group. When they first, you know, they spoke, and we have a vague location of where they were coming from. They started speaking in Orcish originally, so I feel the threat here is far more dire than we think.
Vac will take the stone from you, kind of like not very politely, because that's just how Vac is. And he kind of snatches it. He's like, he starts kind of eyeballing it with his crazy eye, and he's like, "Oh my, this isn't good. Where would I all get something like this?"
We killed a guy. I talked to the person on the other end. They're 5 days north.
5 days north. John, are you familiar with that area? Actually, not at this particular time anymore, Vac. I mean, I haven't been exploring for 20 years. I've been running this place. I wouldn't have any idea what's 5 days north of here. That's insane. Well, I might have somebody who might be able to help us with that. Enter.
No, we don't need any
character.
help. I'll find it.
No. And he walks up to you. And he kind of bops you on the arm a little bit, just playfully with his staff. He goes, "You listen here, young man.
Can I, like...
You may be 8 feet tall, but you need to listen to your elders."
Can I playfully, like, pat him on the shoulder, but since I'm so strong, I, like, move him?
Yeah, that's fine. So what did you do to him?
I'm gonna, like, pat him on the shoulder playfully.
And what does it do to him, though? Is it, like, knock him down or something?
It might move him a little bit.
Alright, just make a DC check of 12, just for strength.
No, I need to roll,
Well, he just rolled a 13
I
on a
rolled a
straight
13
D20,
without
plus
it.
whatever his strength
So
is.
5,
That's going to
12.
be the
Oh,
12.
okay, gotcha. So Vac's like, Vac actually, he just actually falls to the floor. He's like, "Oh, you big galoot." And he goes, "Oh, that's okay. You're just being foul." And he just kind of winks at you, and then goes. He goes back by Jordan.
Did he
I
give
think
me
this
that
guy's a
sending stone back?
pedophile.
No, he still has it, actually.
Okay, well,
Can I have
give me
that
back that
stone
sending
from my
stone.
pen
Yeah.
pal?
Oh, this thing. Yeah, I don't want it. Here, you can have it. And he
I
kind
don't
of,
want it either, and I threw it to Val.
he kind of looks over at Fal. He goes, "You know, I am a bit of a kind of a man who likes to get even. I need you to make a wisdom save for me." And fantastic. So he looks at Fal. He goes,
We're back to
"Now,
these
Fal.
rolls.
Now, Fal. I would suggest that you sit down
No.
and put your head down on the table like a good boy and wait until it's your turn to talk again, okay, mate?"
I was already sitting.
But now as Fal sits at the table, he puts his head immediately down on the table like he was like in trouble at school. And you have no choice.
Fee, fi, fo, fuck.
You don't know any better. You're just like, wow, that suggestion sounds really good. I am actually really tired. I think I'll put my head down on this table here.
It was hard work ripping those heads off.
So I got to get back on track here. Actually, he gets distracted me with Vac again. Vac is a lot of fun to play. He goes, distracting me. He goes and he calls he goes, Tall Shanks, get the fuck in here.
All right, I'm coming.
What is the name?
Tall Shanks, my name.
Tall Shank?
Tall Shanks.
Oh, tall like me and shank like knife.
Yes.
Enter Tall Shanks McGinnis. So for the group, tell them a little bit about yourself and your character, Ryan.
Well, my character, doesn't like being people making fun of his name. I haven't really wrote a background for him, but he's an NPC you had, right? So that's kind of the gist of it.
Yeah,
I know the woods really well. Lived around this area my whole life. Am I level 3?
You were level 2 technically.
Okay, so I don't have a familiar yet.
Not yet, no.
Wait, I want to be.
What race is he?
I'm a
He
halfling.
is a halfling.
The fuck is your name Tall for?
Don't make fun of my name! I unsheathed my scimitars.
More like half shank.
You unsheathed your scimitar there?
Yeah.
He said, all of a sudden, Vax like, now, Tall Shanks.
If you unsheath your scimitar, I pull out my warhammer and I step forward, staring straight at you.
Can
I'm gonna walk next to him and be like,
Don't you mean straight down?
Yes, straight down. And I step up here like, come at me, bro.
I'm gonna walk towards him and be like, us tall people need to stick together.
Yeah, all of a sudden you hear this really loud, thunderous enough, and it's so loud that it actually rattles the entire tavern. And it didn't come from Jorn, it came from Back. And he goes, oh yes, Tall Shakes is one of my assistants. He knows these woods very well. He might be able to help. He knows everything. He could maybe find a track. He's my guide. I'd be happy to loan him to you. Although, and he whispers, he goes, he is a bit sensitive about his name, though. He's quite tall, actually, for a halfling. That's why his parents named him that.
He still comes up a little short.
Oh, sick burns.
So I love that the dwarf is mocking the halfling right now.
I know. To be fair, that's probably in Blast's character, though.
Right. I'm certain. So I put my hammer back at my side and extend my hand for a handshake and say I'm glad to have you with us.
I sheathe my scimitars and I say, careful with that mockery. You'll be thinking you won't be mocking to save your life. And I shake his hand.
Am I still forced into
Yes.
head down?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi.
You hear a hi from the table, and this guy's giant of a man has his head just literally down on the table.
It's
I
fantastic.
put my head in gum. It's stuck.
You see, if you get well, actually, Titus, you're super perceptive. You'll see Not Gandalf actually kind of wisp his fingers a little bit, and all of a sudden, Thal, you don't feel the need to put your head on the desk anymore.
I'm gonna get up and shake his hand. Hello.
Whoa, you're a big guy.
So are you.
Thank you, sir.
I like it. So Vac will actually do something as well. He's gonna look at Jordan, just so I can keep the story on straight. So he goes, John, you know, I know I'm funsies and I'm so full again, but you need to go and get these townspeople ready just in case. I'll talk with the adventurers.
I need a fresh beer for this.
And all of a sudden, hey, Grady, go ahead and kill the tavern music. I need something a little bit more aggressive, okay?
Slayer.
Slayer.
All of a sudden, busting through the door is young Finn.
Who's Finn?
The kid whose parents got killed?
Yeah.
And he goes, John! Where are you, John?
Which door did he burst through? Because I thought he was already here.
Finn?
No,
No. Finn wasn't here.
That's,
Yeah,
this
and
is Finn right here.
That's
He just
Finn.
came through
And
this door.
Jordan will go up to him. Finn, I thought I told you to stay with your sister. No, John! No, I heard what the people say. They say that you won't send anybody to avenge my parents. Now calm down, Finn. This is not something we can just throw people at. It's not how... What do you mean this is not how you throw people at? I will have my vengeance. And he grabs a sword from one of the racks and points it directly at Jorn. He goes, I will go and I will do it myself if I have to. And at this moment, go ahead and pause the music.
Do we think he's gonna attack Jordan?
You don't know yet. All of a sudden,
I'm gonna move a little closer.
For the sake of the story, time stops, okay? Except for Titus. Titus, you hear what the young man's saying, but it's kind of garbled. It's you make out what he's saying, but you hear something though that you haven't heard in a long time. You hear the thunder. You hear the roar of the winds and the rain whipping around, and you see something in this boy's eyes. It's almost like a blast of lightning in his eyes. And it's so loud and so roarish, and it's almost deafening to your ears. And then all of a sudden, it stops. And you hear a woman's voice. And she's sitting right beside you, but nobody else can see her. And she goes, Titus. Ah, yes. My husband has spoken very well of you. Well, you just gonna stand there staring at me like a daft young lad?
Who are you?
Oh, I think you know who I am. And with you serving the god of thunder, you would know that there's only one woman who would ever do his bidding, and vice versa. This is the Lady Sif. This would be in Norse mythology. This would be the wife of your god.
Right.
She looks at him. She looks at you, then she looks at the young man, and she goes, "What do you think about this young lad here, Titus?"
He has a fire in him. I respect that, but he seems foolhardy as well.
Ah, much like a certain young man that I remember when he joined the military of his father, who was very conflicted on whom he was going to serve, right?
I'll just kind of smile and nod.
And for you, Titus, you would know this is extremely special because it's not like you're going to ever have, like, even as faithful as you've been, having an experience like this is few and far between, if ever. So she looks at you and she looks at the young man and she tells you, things are at an unrest, Titus. And as much as you may not want to, you may be called to serve again. This young man needs guidance. Or I'm afraid, clearly you can look at him threatening that man there. This young man is not in his right mind. He's full of grief. And you would know also that Finn, like, you don't have a ton of people that come to, like, your chapel, your temple, per se.
Right.
But Finn has never really missed a meeting unless it's just been dire. He's been, you would know Finn as a strong young lad, full of wonder, always been extremely, interested in your stories. Heard Vac's story several times and still, is impressed by him. But clearly, right now, he's not in his right mind.
Right.
So Sif looks at you, and you hear the thunder again. It's louder this time, and she goes, I'm getting to it. I'm getting to the point." And she looks at you, and she goes, he's always so impatient, isn't he?"
Like me.
"Ah, yes, I assume that's why he likes you so much." And she looks at the young man, and she looks back at you, and she goes, "Train him, Titus. Share with him your knowledge. For I feel, and so does our God, that he has purpose in this world. What it is, we don't know yet. Only the fates will understand, for all men have their choice. But he looks up to you, and he could be an agent for this task. He could be an agent for good." And in your hand appears a golden medallion with a hammer and two lightning bolts on it. And it just like it came out of nowhere. And then she looks at you and she goes, "When you think that you're alone, Titus, just remember, in the darkest hour, since you're doing a favor for the god of thunder, he will remember you." And she gives you a sly wink, and she's gone. Cue that tavern music again, would you?
Mm-hmm.
So while the rest of you are kind of like gathering around Jorn, trying to trying to keep this man from being completely ass backery, trying to calm him down. Titus, you have an opportunity with advantage to speak to Finn to calm him down.
Can I, before I speak, can I cast Sacred Flame between him and Jorn there?
Yeah, can you tell me what it's going to do?
I mean, it's just here. This is the description of it. I'm not casting it on anyone, so there's no saving throw, no damage or anything. But I just want that flame-like radiance to come down and kind of,
all right.
Well, just as an attention grabber.
Yeah, I get it. So with a brilliant flash of radiant energy, all of a sudden just drops between Finn and Jorn. And I'm just going to move Jorn back there, and because Finn, if I pull him backwards, he'll go out the door.
Right.
But for the sake of the spell, it's going to push Finn back a little bit. His eyes are going to go wide.
I just stand up and I speak to him. Finn, I can tell that you're hurting, and I want to help you soothe that pain, but this is not the way. Let me teach you.
What do you mean? They murdered my parents. I saw them. I turned to try to help my dad. He screamed to get away, and I saw them plunge their spears in him, Titus. He didn't have a chance. He was outnumbered.
And attacking Jorn like this, that's going to help things, yes?
He pauses, and he looks at the long sword in his hand, and he throws it to the ground. He goes, "No, I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. I want to fight, and I don't know what to do." And he starts to weep, and he collapses to his knees on the ground.
I'll go over to him, and just to comfort him there. I understand your pain. I've been where you are. I've seen my fair share of loss. I know how to help. I can train you. I can train you in the ways of Thor, and I can help.
And he looks up at you with his, and he actually has a little bit of hope. He goes, Can vengeance be mine?
Yes, though living for vengeance is a very dangerous path. Live for justice instead.
Justice. I will see it done. Either or, they need to die. But I will follow you. I will do as you bid me to do. And with that, for the sake of the game, this is why you have control over Finn.
Gotcha.
Finn is now your acolyte. He is, for leveling purposes right now, he is a level 1 paladin of Thor. He may not be completely there yet, so like he probably won't level when you guys do, just because, just for the purpose of the sheet, I just needed to put something on there for like CR purposes. Right now, he has no gear, no nothing, but you know, I'm sure that there'll be a deal that can be worked out somewhere. But I can roll, and just so that way you don't feel like, hey, I have to do a lot of work. I can role play. I'll role play Finn, but I want to give you control over Finn,
like for battle or whatever. Yes,
for Finn's.
Yeah, I'm
for
done
Finn's
with that. That's
purposes.
cool. I like that.
And then all of a sudden, you know, you hear not Gandalf say, "Oh, well, this has been very exciting, but we should probably think what to do." And he looks over at
Well, sorry to cut you off there for 1 second, but doesn't he have a longsword?
He threw it on the ground.
Okay, well, but that's his though, right?
No, he took it from the store shelf.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Never mind.
We'll go over that here in a minute.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Go ahead.
Just for story purposes, I had him grab something.
Yep, that's fine.
He's a 19-year-old kid and lost his farm, his family. He has nothing other than potential.
The clothes he's wearing.
Let's put it that way. And they're raggedy as it is.
Right.
Raggedy, raggedy fucking shit. So, with that out of the way, Zach will call over to Tall Shanks. Tall Shanks, I need you to get one of your maps of the area and lay it out here so we'll go over what they described.
Alright. Yeah. I maps my bag. Take out a map and I put it on the table.
So everybody will start looking at the map, and then just for the sake of the story, you'll see that on the map, you guys are probably 5 days south of where this place is where they were talking about. And with you knowing the land very well, Tall Shanks, you'll know this area is could be quite dangerous. It's well protected, and if they're where you think there may be a lot more than what the numbers could be. You just don't know yet. The intel you have is much better than what I was actually going to give you, just because they role played it well enough to know about how far. Now, there's two options on the map there, though. You can either take the standard road, maybe try to stealth your way through there, but that might take time. There's also a cavern, though, that would cut your time literally in half. It would take you maybe a day to traverse it, and if you could get through that cavern, though, you guys might be able to get the jump on these fellas. Maybe get some more intel, get some things that you
and
can
we could
see.
make it in time so nothing would be suspicious.
Right. So looking at the map, I'm assuming we all noticed that path. I want to ask Tall Shanks if he knows why the indigenous people would say that they would die if they went through that path.
It's ghost stories about that cavern. They say the walls scream. I don't know, I have not been down there ever, but...
Tall Shanks could take you there, though. He knows
okay,
the
yes,
woods.
I can definitely get you there. I'm not saying I'll go through with you, but I'll get you there.
So you're saying you would be afraid to go through?
Yes.
I'll go.
Yeah, let's go.
However, it would be a lot easier because I don't know how sneaky this big guy would be.
I'm very sneaky.
The group of us as a whole have a bit of a problem in that department, to be honest.
And that is why I bring you in here, Tall Shanks. You've got skills this group could use, and you've guided me plenty. You need to do some good works in this world for a freaking change, other than just live off my salary that I give you. We'll make it worth your while, I'm sure. You'll be an adventuring party. Those are fantastic. A lot of times you end up being very rich.
And then he mutters to himself, if you survive this.
Is there anyone in town who's been down there before?
basically it's scary as fuck. And like Tall Shank said, the walls, like you can almost hear them.
Who does he hear this from if there's no one that's been down there?
He's lived in the area. He's an Outlander, so
They're just like rumors or whatever.
Stories.
Yeah, like
Yeah, but
rumors,
rumors from who?
It's like children's tales, basically, like ancient.
Well, someone's been
lore.
down there.
Like you know, like we have the boogeyman, Krampus.
That's Germany.
I mean,
It's still a thing though.
yeah,
Right,
Grady definitely knows what
this
Krampus
cavern has
is.
a bad stigma to it, like a haunted area, like a haunted.
I do
path
have a
type.
Krampus.
Well, those are good questions to ask because he knows if nobody has been here, how the hell? The only thing that you can hear is just legend and lore because the people that live here won't go near it. They don't necessarily know where it is, but like somebody who's well traveled, like an Outlander, a guide in this case, would sometimes, because he basically how Tall Shanks makes his living, other than that, because before he met him, is he's a guide. So Tall Shanks would instinctively keep people away from that area in fear of death because he doesn't get paid if the client's killed. So those are good questions to ask, though. It's fine.
That said, I'm not sure, like, how often does a heavily armed party with the God of Thunder on their side go through that path? I'm willing to take the risk if it alleviates any suspicion and gets us through there a little bit stealthier.
Alright. So I grab his beer and say, well, I guess I'll look forward to meeting your God of Thunder.
I like it. I like it. That's well played. Well played. So at this time, Jordan will be, he's just gonna kind of shake his head, lower it a little bit ashamed, and he just kind of looks at you guys and goes, I wish I could go with you, but
as he starts to say this, I don't even let him finish. I say, Zorn, the town needs you. If we are to fail, who knows what's coming? You need to get them ready.
These are nothing but farmers, but I will make sure that we will open up. I don't care what the costs are. We will open up my larders. I will get these people bows. I will get them crossbows, and I will make this town ready. Bread!
Speaking of which... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Ben! I need you to go tell these fucks that they need to meet here in 1 hour. We're going to go over defense.
May I recommend the Great Axe?
Oh, yes, Thou. And he just points over to the shelf. He goes, that right there, mate. You know what that axe is called?
The Panty Dropper.
Fucking shit. He looks. He
I
kind
like
of.
this guy.
He kind of laughs. He goes, well, maybe 30 years ago, Thal, but no, that axe. That axe has a name, Fred. That's Giant Slayer.
I kind of take a little offense, but I understand.
He just kind of gives you a little wink, and he walks back towards the general area. So at this time, the conversation, the serious conversation is out of the way. It's done. And Vac will kind of stop her in his tracks real quick. And he'll be like, wait a minute. What's that smell? Is that what I think it is? Is that the stickiest of the icky? Where's the stickiest of the icky? I smell this. It's not common in here. Where's the stickiest of the icky?
I think Blast has it.
Yeah.
You have something that's kind of rare for me in these parts that I'm quite fond of. Would you by chance have something that I may partake of?
Nah.
Wasn't the whole point to sell it?
Yeah, I thought you were trying to be a dealer here, homie.
That's why we didn't use it when we were camping.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I smell it. It's coming right from you.
I'll trade it for information.
Or maybe like a healing potion or something.
No, information.
Okay.
What kind of information do you want from not Gandalf?
Fucking not Gandalf clearly is something more than he is. So is not Inigo Montoya.
Not Inigo Montoya? I don't get it.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Finn is who he's talking about.
Oh, okay. Finn? Well,
Yeah,
Finn's just a normal kid. I mean, literally. He's literally just a normal kid. There's nothing special about him. I mean, you can tell that just by looking at it. That picture right there is just because it's cool. But, like, for the theater of the mind, Finn is, like, in rags. He's dirty. He's clearly upset. And, like, you wouldn't have any idea what Titus, because time literally froze around Titus, but everything was normal for you guys.
He's Peter Parker pre-Spider-Man bite.
I feel like that sounds about right. Yeah, that's about what I'm imagining.
Yeah. Okay, that's a very good analogy, actually. Okay, as far as like information back, he's just gonna look at you and goes, what do you mean? I'm a trader. I trade goods. I mean, in my day, I adventured quite a bit, to be honest. Then I've picked up a few things here and there.
He shook the whole place with his voice.
Thaumaturgy.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what it is. Thaumaturgy is a spell, very low level actually, but it can be used in a method that's actually pretty scary. It can make your voice boom. It can make your eyes glow. It's like an illusion, basically. But people who wouldn't understand that, though, they would think he's a god or something.
Being a sorcerer, though, I'm assuming Blast knows it's nothing.
Probably. He would probably know that. I can't remember the spells that Blast actually has at the moment. Yeah, and Blast would probably know that.
He doesn't have it,
wise.
but I mean, he's got to know something about magic, I would think.
He might have not have known at the time, because, I mean, that was a pretty crazy... That was crazy shit that went down. So, I mean, I get that. That's a good way of looking at it, though. I like that. But yeah, the spell, his kind of gives you a wink. He goes, my friend, that's just a little ditty that I did just to shut people up. If you're lucky sometime, though, I can teach it to you.
How much weed would that cost?
Let's see. Thaumaturgy.
It's not a sorcerer spell, but that's totally up to you. That'd be kind of cool if you can trade weed for spell knowledge. That's awesome.
Trade weed for knowledge.
I mean, that'd be so fucking cool. Like, I think that's great.
He goes over to. He'll be like, sit here for a moment. I think I might be able to accommodate you with something. And he goes out to his trade wagon, and he comes back with just a very small book, and in it though it has some in there that that as a sorcerer you wouldn't necessarily always be able to understand, but he hands it to you. He goes and he says, now I know that your magic isn't one that normally comes from study. You're a very gifted young beardless dwarf, if I may say so, and very intelligent, mind you, but I've come across a few trinkets here and there. So in this book, if you give me the stickiest of the icky, there are 3 spells in here that if you read them, you will know them.
What does that mean? If I need them, I'll know them.
If you read them, you'll know them.
If I read them?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I thought you said need.
So I think mechanically speaking, he would be basically you would have to study the book, but then you would learn 3 cantrips or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, but how much weed?
Well, something like this, my friend, is actually quite priceless. And you would know that him giving you this, he's telling you the truth.
this kind of thing is not common at all. This is extremely rare magic. That if you read this, you would just automatically know the spell. That's crazy. That never happens.
So I'm making a deal. So if you give me this sticky icky icky, we can sit down and have a pipe tonight, and I will give this magic to you, and then we can trade stories here and there. What do you say?
I'm not hearing a number.
A number?
Like I got
It's
4
all
of
of
them.
it.
Like he wants to
I
know
got
how
4 of
much
them.
he's got to give up.
Oh, it's got to be all of it.
Ah, damn. Fine, do it. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, it's worth it.
So
It's good
what
bargaining.
What I want you to do is in your book, or in your inventory, I want you to write down, through a book of 3 spells. This is something that's rare, but because you've role played so well, I'm going to give this to you. Okay. So in this book, the first spell that you learn is thaumaturgy. Okay. And then you won't be able to learn the other 2 spells though until you level. Like you'll learn a spell per level. So the first spell is going to be a cantrip. Okay. So and then the second, when you hit a level again, though, you'll actually be able to learn like a level 1 spell. Okay. That level 1 spell though will have to come from the sorcerers section. Okay. And then, and then level 3, you'll learn the last spell, because this is powerful stuff that I'm giving you. It's just homebrew, nothing. There's no rules to this. This is just you role played it well. I'm giving you a gift for that. It's not overpowered. It's just something real simple.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. While all that's going on, while Zorn is kind of starting to try and get organized and arm the people here, I want to go up to him and say, if Finn is to join us, I'd like to get him, equipped here. Do you have anything that maybe I could take off your hands here?
Oh yes, I don't know if it doesn't sit well with me sitting a 19-year-old lad to battle, though, Titus. I don't like this.
That's why he'll be there with me. I'll look over him. I was younger than him when I started.
Okay, so he goes, come with me. He takes you to, the back inventory there. And you'll see it in the inventory, just for the sake of the game, is he's going to take you to the back. In the back, and if you want to open up Finn's, pack there, he's going to give you a longsword, just a standard issued longsword, a shield, and there will be some studded leather armor there that he can start off with.
Okay.
He goes, I can't afford to give you any more than this. This is a bit... I gotta arm the people, Titus.
I understand. Does he have any heavy armor? He just doesn't want to give it up?
If you would like to roll, roll for it. DC 10.
What do you want me to roll?
Just a standard
Just a standard D20?
Standard D20, yeah.
Yes.
He does.
Like chainmail or something, I'm assuming?
Why don't we look that up? What I'll do here is, why don't we take a 5? I'll look that up in P, and then we'll pick up.
Okay.
Because I got P.
Sounds good, because
So,
I got a P2.
take a 5-minute break. I'll look up what the armor will be, and then we'll continue with the story, okay?
Sounds